So glad to be here to present some of our project findings here. So actually, I think just now, Kenneth and Michael has talked something about mixed space. So my talk is about the learning spaces, or you can call it as informal learning spaces, incubating innovations. So we have done some investigations in local schools. I think it's about 2 to 3 schools, local schools. So I think today we can try to give you some understanding or some overview of what kinds of learning spaces has been done or has been established in local schools. So the objective, so for our research, we are trying to help students to be more innovative. We're trying to help them to be the future innovators. I think that's the overall objective. And how can we do that? How can the formal school settings do that? I think that's a question we are facing. So it means that can school be the place or be the venue to train innovators, not just the examinees, just the person to take examinations. Okay, we'll prepare them to be innovative. Can school do this? I think that's a fundamental question we are facing. Okay, so when we go to those schools, so we have identified 3 types of learning spaces. We think that 3 types of learning spaces has already been established in local schools. We call that Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3. So in Type 1, we can see that the formal learning is still still taking the dominating roles. It means that the teacher is still guided and instructed by the teachers. The teacher will try to give the instructions, and the students are just trying to follow all the instructions and do the hands-on work. They are learning some kind of hands-on skills, but in the process of learning hands-on skills, they are developing their interest. So this is Type 1 learning space we have seen. Okay, then gradually they will go to the Type 2 space. In this type of space, we can see that the instruction level is decreased, but the interest level is increased. Okay, it means that the student will have more learning autonomy during the process. Okay, so we can see there is a good coordination between the teacher instruction and student learning autonomy. Okay, then the more advanced phase is about the type 3 space. So it can see that in this kind of space, the students are really driven by their interest. The teacher's role has really been weakened. The student can learn by themselves. They can try to find all the resources by themselves. Okay, they are really doing the self-directed learning and the self-directed innovation by themselves. It is with a very high learning autonomy. So this is the 3 types of learning space we have identified. Okay, so when we discuss of this, so we are talking about, so the first question is, what is interest-driven learning? Okay, so interest-driven learning is basically a process of self-motivated process. And what is the value of self-motivation? The self-motivation can drive the students to learn by themselves. Okay, they can, because now they have all the resources. They can look some resources online. They don't need the instruction. If they have really developed their real intrinsic interest or intrinsic motivation, they can learn by themselves. So that's the value of interest-driven learning. and they have developed their own capacity to seek additional information, to seek additional resources, to help them to innovate. So we see that interest has been really the key driver for innovation. Okay, so then we talk about the interest-driven learning through the informal context. So it means that, what kind of informal learning can the school provide? So we can see that, okay, in school we have those ALP, so applied learning programs. We have those DNT, we have those CCA, and I think the CCA is really a good way to help them to learn, but what kind of learning they can do if they are involved in all these kind of activities, it is still a question we want to investigate. Okay, so this is about learning autonomy. So this learning autonomy is really about the role of free choice or the freedom. So I think the key word we have heard of the student is about freedom. They need the freedom to learn. So we identify this as a way to, we need to use the learning autonomy to express their freedom in choice. Okay, so this is a case for type 1 learning space. So we can see that the teacher is still given all the instructions. The teacher is trying to describing the circuit. What's the principles? What are not underlying principles? How to make it? So still some formal classroom instruction are given to them. But then the students are assigned into groups. They work together. But at this type of learning space, we can see every group is producing the same artifact. There's no too much of so-called creativity involved. But in the process, it's a training process. It's a starting process. The students are developing the interest because, as one teacher said, told us that he is disappointed because of the current students are not so good at those hands-on. They are too good at the ICT, but not too good at hands-on activities. So the students need training for this kind of hands-on activities. This is the starting point to have their interest in this kind of innovation. Okay, and for this type 2 learning space, so we can see more freedom. Okay, so it means that the students are still following teacher's guidance. The teacher are still providing those kind of scaffoldings in the space. But the students, now they can work together. They can work in groups to construct differentiated artifacts in their groups. So in this sense, we can see the interest level is decreasing, and the learning autonomy is also increasing because some of the students tell us that now they wanted the freedom, they want the power, kind of the power to do the things, to create the artifacts by themselves. They are kind of sometimes the teacher's instruction can be a disturbance rather than instruction. So that's the level we can see the growth of the students. Okay, so this is some feedback. So you see, so one student said, I wish we could have more freedom. Maybe we could use more other than the buzzer or LEDs, or other than 3 sensors that were given to solve the problem, okay? And I think they are the teachers, let us test if it works and have a longer partnership. So we can see this group, we can see the interest level has been really increased, and the learning autonomy has also been increased. Okay, And this kind of type 3 learning space, so we have found this kind of very exceptional case when these two kids really created this kind of circuit all by themselves, without the guidance from the teacher. And the only thing the teacher can help them is try to register for the national competition. All the resources, they buy the resources on eBay. They learn the materials online. They read it by themselves. So this is a space when the students have the full learning autonomy and they have a very high interest in this kind of creation. Okay, and the two students are really helping each other during the journey because I think this student is more elaborative, and this kid is more I think is good in building things. They are working together. They are trying to, they said, as against odds to try to build the current creation they have. And as this kid tells us, I don't want to use the, I want to use the plain word to explain this to our laymen. We are the laymen to them when we interview them. They have been the expert in this kind of inventing, really. Okay, so this is kind of some feedback. So we will look for resources on eBay to buy necessary stuffs. And this kind of interest is not from the school, but from his labor. And they will just look at how somebody do it, and they can learn it. They don't learn from the teacher. They learn from the others. They learn from the online resources. And the teacher feels the incapacity as a teacher to fully support the students' interest development. So this is something interesting we have found. Okay, so this is the three spaces we have identified. So we can see the interest level is growing, the learning autonomy is growing, and the level of instruction is decreasing. Okay, so from this talk, we can see interest is the key and the seed for learning, for both learning and innovation. And this kind of formal spaces are needed to help them, students, to develop the interest and prepare to be future innovators. And we really need to give them more learning autonomy in the process. But how? Especially when students has really be trained to be with a high level of interest and a high level of learning autonomy, how the school can support them. It is still not clear. The teacher does not know. The school also does not know. Whether we know, I don't know. Okay, thank you.